Hello guys, today I'm going to show you how you can use SignalR with SQL table dependency to show a real-time update on your tables that's on the website. Like we have a table view, and if we make any changes in the database, that's gonna update the table right away without any page refresh. Let me show you an example how it's working. Okay, so for example here we have onions and the price is 50. Let's make it 90. You can see there is a change here. Okay, so let's delete this cabbage from the list, and you see cabbage is gone. Now let's make another entry. So for example, I add another vegetable like carrot, and vegetables, let's put it 150. See, delete it, gone. Okay, so this is how the SQL table dependency is working real time using SignalR. Okay guys, before going ahead, let me make sure we follow the steps, and we start a new project from Visual Studio. And I'm going to use .NET 6. That's what I have been using. Okay, let me name it SignalR. What was the previous program? EFC. Okay. Few seconds while the project is loading. We would be using Entity Framework Core here, so that will be much easier for you. So we will be using migrations, a DB context file, and everything that you use in Entity Framework Core. And to save your time, I might have to copy few things from the previous program, and that will make the video save the time. Okay, let me put the connection string here. Adding the connection string. So we'll go to settings. Let's move on to nuggets. Add our required nuggets from there. There is none by the time, and we are going to add a couple of them. So Entity Framework Core is a must. I would take the latest version from 6. Tools and SQL Server are the must. Are a must. Okay, so this definitely you have to take this one. Okay, let me add up all the nuggets and I will show you what all I added. So after installing this for 5 packages, you still need SQL Tabledependency, which is this one. and whatever the latest version is, you can use that. Alright, so now that we have installed all the NuGet packages, let me verify. So these are the NuGet packages that you should be installing in. Okay, so these are the NuGet packages that you need. Um, okay, now we will go ahead for the model class. Let's name the model class as product. And I'll copy the contents. Pasting. It's taking so much time just to paste. Not sure what went wrong. Okay, got it. Alright, this is going to be your component data annotations. Alright, controllers, we only have home. Let's have one more controller that should be dashboard controller. Okay, now the dashboard controller. Let's have an index page for the dashboard. Let's that be let that be empty, and we will put in the HTML code there, so we don't need a model for that. Okay, now that it has created the index view, I'll have the data here soon. Okay, I missed out on one of the important things. That's first of all, you should add the client library, which is your SignalR. You select the unpackage, choose specific files, and type in @Microsoft /SignalR. By default, it's taking up the latest one, so you don't need to make any changes. We go to files, dist browser, and I need JS, SignalR.js and SignalR.min.js. Okay, install that. Okay, that went to our www root library Microsoft SignalR dist browser, and there we go. Okay, so these are the files here. Okay, we will be using the links of these files in our layout, and also on the index dashboard index page. Okay, so if I okay, let's put in a link. I'm looking at the layout. Let's add a link for the dashboard. So the controller is going to be dashboard dashboard, and privacy action index. This one is going to be dashboard. Okay, we will put in the script section here. By default both of them came up. That's fine. Okay, we didn't need both of those JS files here. mm, okay, so now that we have the product, let's add our data. New folder, that's data. We need the DB context, right? So add class file application DB context. Okay, and make sure that it inherits the DB context. Yeah, this will not show up unless you use Entity Framework Core. So come on, pop up. Okay, fine, save it. Now few things I need to copy there from application DB context. Okay, so the constructor with DB context, application DB context options inherits base options, and the model class. Okay, now that we have our model class ready and we have our connection string ready, um, let's go ahead and perform the migrations. As this is the initial migration, so we will be having a new database here that will be 27. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed out on the program.cs. Will not work. Yes, expected this error. So let's go to the program.cs and fix certain things here. Okay, now that we have mentioned the application DB context in our program.cs file, our migration should work fine. Yeah, it's telling me like it's unable to fix that thing, the price which is there. It's unable to fix that decimal point, but we see that whatever it has generated for the price column, it's okay, it's fine. So let's just go ahead with it. Let's update the database. Perfect. It generated the code, and I hope it should have created the database. So going to let's refresh our database, and we should have 27 over there. Yeah, we see a 27. Yeah, this one is required in case you do not have this enabled broker is enabled, so it won't update your things. As soon as you do, it won't be able to catch up with SQL table dependency. So I think mine is already enabled. Yeah, it's already enabled, so we don't need that. Okay, so now that we have our table here, we don't have anything in the table. We will add some values in here. However, we need to fix a couple of things there as well on the program. So if I'm adding some products here, I will add apples, and this is fruits, and the price is 250. Oranges, and this is fruits. Price is 200. Add some vegetables. Price is 50. Let these three be there, okay? I'll add a couple more when the program runs. Okay. We will have to add up few folders that's required. So I'm going to show you what all folders we need. I'll put up the link for the codes on the description part, and you can take it from there. So if I'm looking at here, we will need hubs, we will need the middleware, we will need subscribe table dependencies, we need repositories. Yeah, these four. Yeah, these four. Yes, these four folders, we will need them. Just copy that to the next program, paste it over here. Even if I copied and you just want to create that, that's fine, you can create it. So what hubs, middleware extensions, repositories, subscribe table dependencies, what do we have in there? So if we go to the hubs, we have a dashboard hub. Okay, so this is let me just fix this errors. I'll explain what these things are here. Give me a few seconds, let me just fix them up. Okay, now that I have fixed the names of these four folders, like the data in these four folders, I renamed it to the new project, so things should be all good. And if I go to my program.cs, it should have all the libraries well and good. Give me a few seconds here. Okay, okay, we need the JavaScript file, so JS, to get that from the previous program, dashboard.js. Okay. Dashboard hub. Okay, this one doesn't need any changes. This is all good. Yeah, bind to grid. Perfect. Okay. Distance. Okay, now that we have done changes to our new program, so let me just tell you like what we are doing here. So let's close this. I will need this JS. So initially what happens is when we are calling the dashboard controller, it's going to the index, and when it's trying to fetch the index, oh, I need the index space, I'm sorry. So what we have in the index is just created a table in the div, and we have the headings name, category, and price, and we would be attaching the contents to this headers. So we also need the script files for SignalR.js, and the chart is a different thing. We will use it later on. Okay, dashboard.js and SignalR.js. These are the two script files that we will be needing. Okay, so this is what we need, and I will show you what we have in the script. In the script, it will first connect to the dashboard hub, and it will do an invoke. It will show us this alert message that it's connected, and it will do the invoke products. Now invoke products is we will do a connection dot invoke to the send products, and send products is in in wait, let me see that. Give me a few seconds here. I'm sorry. Okay, so send products is in dashboard hub. Okay, so what it's doing is it's trying to get the products, and it's going to product repository, and it will fetch the get products action from there. Get products. Okay, so this is going to fetch our DB context products from list, and we are using this line of code to reload the DB context. What happens is DB context doesn't reload itself. It will give you a copy of the previous version. So when we are trying to update any record, DB context will still show you the past one. It will still show you the old table data. It will not give you the fresh data. So to get that, we have to pass this DB context through a for each loop, and that's going to do the reload thing. So the 25. This line of code is going to refresh your table, and it will give you the updated records. If there is any new record added, if there is any record removal, it will update the list. Okay, otherwise it won't. If you try to send this one only, it will not show you the correct data. So to do that, you need this line of code. Okay. All right. So after that, it's returning an employee list and get products. The repository will move on to on changed and on error. No, this will go back to your view, and it will fetch the data. Okay, so back to dashboard.js, and it will bind these things. Okay, so post this, it's going to do the received products. Okay, connection.on. It's going to receive the products, and it will call the bind grid. So bind grid is going to yeah, if there is any error in the send products, it will show you here. It will show you on the browser. If not, then it will move on to the next step, and it will connect to the received products, and it will bind the grid with the values. Okay, the received values in here. Okay, this is the thing which is binding our values to the table. All right, now what happens after this? It's we will if we do some changes on the table, for example, we are doing some changes on the database, that's going to fetch. It will first of all look for the connection. The connection is mentioned in the program.cs. I will do that here right in front of you. So we will add the dependency controls. Okay, make sure to put this controller with views just before the razor pages, okay? Otherwise it's going to throw an error. You can have a look at the program.cs. Okay, it's incomplete. Let me just complete that. If you're not completing these things, that's going to throw you an error, okay? So we need to complete this program.cs perfectly, okay? So what all we did here, connection string is mentioned, page exception for developers, then controllers with views, dependency injection for dashboard hub, then subscribe product table dependency. Okay. Why was the I subscribe in subscribe table production? This one should have had the I. Okay. Give me a few seconds here. Alright, so in the dependency injection we added the subscribe product table dependency, and subscribe product table dependency is inheriting from the interface iService table dependency here, and we passed in a connection string. So subscribe table dependency will have a connection string here, and this connection string comes from the connection string that we mentioned on the app settings. Okay, so yes, it's getting this connection string through our middleware. So all these things are fetched through our middleware. So our middleware will first be connected with the application builder service, and it will build all this service. It will check the connection string and everything. So service may be null. Okay, nullable service. Okay, post that when it gets the data, it will look for if any changes are there, and if there are any change, it will run those changes. If there is no change, it will just pass through. So post this, it will move on to our index page, and it will fetch the records from there. Okay, now what else? We have a mapping here below the dot use authorization dashboard hub, so it's going to connect to the dashboard hub here, and we have only one method, the send products, and the previous one is the constructor. So this is going to pass the connection string and the DB context here from the repository, and from repository we are fetching all our records. It's all linked with each other. Alright, so that's pretty much all about the file descriptions. We have already looked into the dashboard.js, and in the index also we have linked our JS files. We already have our JS files here, and we also have the JS file in the layout that's required. So yeah, we have all the SignalR JS files in the layout. Now let's run the program and have a look at it. So now it's connected to the dashboard hub. Press an OK. It will fetch all the records from the database and it will show up here. So now that we have all the records from the database, let's try changing it. I will not waste your time too much. Suppose apples is 250, let's make it 300, and the changes is shown here. Suppose tomatoes is 70, let's make it 50. 50 is updated. Let's add a new one. So let's put in cabbage. Let's put it 60. Cabbage is added. Let's remove tomatoes. Oh, sorry. He added one. Oh man. Okay, onions is added. Now let's remove tomato. Tomatoes is gone. So I guess pretty much that's all about the explanation. I hope you would have understood what we are doing here. Let me go through it once again. So the extra files that we added was dashboard controller. Dashboard controller doesn't have much of things, just an index, and we already had a look at the index. What we have there is just a table to show, and the table data is binded through dashboard.js. So the functions are calling the dashboard hub, and dashboard hub is connected with the repository, which is fetching our records. Records are fetched from the repository and connected to dashboard.js. So we are binding some methods and functions to fetch the data from database. If any changes are there, it will move on to the on-changed event of subscribe table dependency, which is inside our subscribe table dependencies folder. Okay, and this one was linked from the middleware. Okay, so middleware is the pipeline. This is the first one through which our request and response is received. So here it's connecting with the subscribe table dependency, this one, and this one is using our the 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 extra nugget that we use, the NuGet that we use, the table dependency. Okay, this is all where the table dependency is working, SQL table dependency. Okay. Yeah, so that's how we fetch our records, and we update the database. We make changes. If there is any new change, we add it, and we fix that. Okay, so the last things that we did was we put in the scripts inside the layout and inside the dashboard index.html. Okay, so that was all about uh, this program. I hope you understood. I'm going to put that code in the description. So thanks for watching, and thanks for staying connected. We hope you enjoyed it, and we will still bring new videos for you. Keep watching. Happy coding. Thank you.